Getting that call now, and you say it's an opportunity to broaden your horizon. Um, do you care about when you get to perform or what time you get to perform?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. And that is coming from me who's been accustomed to going on first a lot, especially earlier. What people don't understand is there's also an advantage to that. Because when you start your show and you're confident with your show, somebody else have to come and, match the energy.
Yeah, right.
Right? So that is one of the perks to starting first. A lot of people like to run away from it. I don't really like to see it as a negative. It's wherever I go. It's not a problem.
But some would say, including myself, that if it is an opportunity, like you say, to expand your audience or to get exposure, going on first kind of defeats that purpose.
In a way, most definitely my fans will be there. Most definitely there will be people that come early to the music fest, so you can depend on that. Is performing in the middle, prime time, the best thing? Of course. But if you don't get the opportunity, you just have to work with what you have.
So you're grateful of the opportunity?
Yeah, I'm very grateful. It don't matter.
Right. I tolerate men.
We live in a risky world,
Yeah.
So I can say that, we explore.
Men should always spend on a woman.
Appreciation is a big man.
Welcome back, or welcome to another episode of the Perspectives Podcast. 2025 has been a year of inconsistency, but as I said, working on that. And in working on that, we have a new episode. People remember for like, share, subscribe. I'm releasing 2 podcasts every week. This can be released. Well, at the time of this releasing, you would have had Virgil, Aj, and Zoo. So now we have a new guest. But before we get into the episode, remember on the 5th of July, there's a thing keeping right there in the Heroes Park called Profess. You know what I mean? Yeah, this is some more information on the screen and so on about the festival. I'll be there shooting, asking questions and so on, Remember, if you're in St. Kitts and Nevis looking at transportation solution, just check SKN Cabs. They have all the good stuff going on over there. But today we're here with a guest. Then a nice, pretty studio to a very special guest.
We got the Style Jerk studio one time.
Style Jerk studio. I first met come here.
Right, it's nice, right?
Boy, beautiful. And as I said, we're here with a special guest, Somebody who, is it safe to say a friend of the platform?
Yeah, I would say that. Yeah. I've been a supporter, I've been watching.
Well, she have never been featured, but
no.
I guess she have been watching and finally she's here, We're here with Miss IDeli Napi.
Well.
Oh, yeah.
I'm well. And yourself, Mr. Essential?
No, like, you look for me.
What I mean? Oh, no.
Your eyes are very flirtatious.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You have some.
Let's go like this for the rest of the interview. No?
You can give me like a...
No, not at all. Yeah. Straighten it up.
No, that's a straight statement.
Okay.
Wouldn't you say?
It sounds kind of wobbly. Straighten it up.
No, man, no wobbly, man. Not between me, you can't wobble. Straight. But anyways, how are you? How are you doing this afternoon?
I'm good. Just a little tired in the eyes.
Yeah,
so, but outside of that, yeah, just a lot going on, a lot of prepping, especially for the music festival. I've been also working on a project of mine, released when it finish. I cannot give you a date, no time, no nothing. Whenever it's done, it's done.
Right. Now, who is IDeli Napi? First of all, am I pronouncing your name right, eh?
Yes. Thank you so much.
Napi.
It is IDeli Napi, not Ideli Napi, not
Idelli,
whatever. IDeli Napi.
All right. So who is IDeli Napi?
Oh, Idelli Napi is a lot of things. But one thing I would say is that authentic. That's what I would like to be like. I'm a very creative person. I would classify myself as a very creative person. And I don't allow myself to have any bounds that much with my creativity, at least what I'm comfortable with. I just express myself freely. So that's just what it is. I've been singing for forever.
So authenticity to you is the freedom to create then.
Freedom to create, correct.
Yeah. Well, have a little drink.
Oh, the style jerk rum punch.
Style jerk rum punch. Feel like I need a little more ice. Huh?
Oh. Okay, let's see. Yes, vibes.
Yeah. Buzzing. Yeah, so you say it's a freedom of creativity. Right. Now, what's your background? Where are you from?
The village, Champsville, Minalus.
Where you say that?
Champsville.
Champsville?
The village.
Oh, come say no in St. Kitts the name Champsville.
Champsville, yeah.
Me in St. Paul's would beg to differ.
We shall see it. Football? Let's go.
You said Champsville, but St. Paul might have a little.
Anyways.
What do you mean by
one village, one Champsville. Let's go.
Yeah. So what was life like for you growing up in village?
Growing up? Oh, okay. Well, from my young years, from I was born to about the age of 6, I was living in Lagreet. And then after that, we relocated further down in the village. So I would say my grandmother raised me. I grew up with my granny. My father lives in the country. My mother lives in St. Thomas. So it was just me and my granny majority of the times.
Yeah. So granny was very strict.
Oh my gosh, let's talk about this. I just always tell my friends, like when I was going to school, like my school skirt, them used to be like, down there.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was one of the strictest thing granny did to Idelli growing up?
Okay, there was one moment I remember when we were living in Lagreet and they had, some children around. And she walked out, them out to dirty and that messing up her perfect programming that she got going on with me. And I used to see them outside underneath the lamppost pitching marble and laughing and stuff. And she would not let me go out ever. Yeah. So I used to feel like, why? But I grew up and it's like, I understand. She was trying to protect me a lot, but it was kind of hard for me socially growing up. I had little friends, small group, always, even to now, just a small group of friends. Yeah.
So how did that shape your character? Are you a shy person or you're outgoing?
Oh, a little bit of both. A little bit of both. I think music for me and creativity would be my outlet to be extroverted. But the rest of me, if people see me on the street, they would say, oh, I'll be more reserved. Just generally my personality.
So you say music, and that's what I know you for. That's what we're here to speak about. When did you discover your talent in music?
Oh, I've been singing since I know myself. All the days of my life. As I tell you, I grew up with my granny. It was just only me. So,
she was strict on the church business.
Strict on the church business. But I don't even think I remember singing the first time in church. I remember probably at school. I used to go to the Dr. William Connor Primary School. And they would have little events at school and a teacher hear you sing and they shove you up and you're like, oh, go ahead and sing a little something for us. I think there's when I recognized other people had appreciation for what I did. But it was just me singing. And finding my mother's old CDs and stuff.
Oh,
and my father.
So you have background in music?
Yeah, my father for sure. My father, daddy, if you're listening, Mido, pick up yourself. My father really ignited that love for reggae music in me. And my mom used to listen a lot more soul music. So I kind of blend up the two. That's what I grew up listening to.
Really? So recently somebody told me you're the sibling of Bama. That's true?
Yeah, that's my older brother.
Really?
Blood. Gangway Records. The baddest records.
Are you say that?
Yep.
Okay. So wait. So all along, you are Bama's sister?
Yeah.
I would have never thought.
Nobody would think.
So you grew up with him?
Let's just say summers and holidays. Because he lived in the country with our paternal grandmother, and I live with my maternal grandmother. So during the vacations and holidays and stuff, my mom used to send me down here to spend time with my other half of my family. So that's when me and him would meet up and, get a bonding.
Okay. Okay, so you say your father would have ignited the fire, the reggae music fire in you. At what point did you decide, hey, music is the way I want to go?
I don't think I had that big aha moment because it just felt so natural. I've been singing forever. It's been a continuous journey. I used to do backups first. I actually have a little bit of skill in playing saxophone. I let background vocals for some soca artists even. I was in 2 cover bands before. And I think it's just like this growth. It's just like the next step, the next step, the next step. Yeah. So I've never sat and be like, oh, this is what I want to do. It's just a part of me, so I do it, if you understand.
But when did you get into your original?
My original? Music? Okay. What ignited that for me was in 2020, like I lost my grandmother. The closest person to me.
Condolences.
Yeah, thank you. And, she wasn't well, and I had to spend a couple months taking care of her and recognizing how fickle life is and realizing that I believe I could write songs. I believe I have a good talent. So let me at least try. Let me just push myself out there and see and try. And that's what kind of was the turning time for me. So I brought out my first single, which would have been Run Come.
Wherever you're headed in St. Kitts or Nevis, SKN Cabs gets you there quickly, safely, and hassle-free.
Well, girl, where you going? You got a suitcase?
Girl, I'm going on a little trip here, so I come get me here fix up.
Oh, where you got a lift to go to the airport?
Girl, no, you know. You could carry me? And you know nobody who could drop me?
Girl, you got an app called SKN Cabs.
SKN Cabs?
It's an app where you could book rides to go anywhere. Even if you want to go down in town and pay your bill, you could use it.
Yeah.
All you have to do is go on. Where you got Apple?
Yeah, I got Apple.
So on the App Store.
Booking with SKN Cabs is easy. Enter your pickup and drop-off locations. Select your payment method and get connected to a driver. Simple, fast, and reliable.
The driver has arrived.
Oh, just on time.
Yes, just on time indeed. I'm early for my flight. Would you like to go for lunch?
Sure.
We could go to Zanzi.
Of course.
Yeah, let's go.
From everyday rides to luxury travel, we've got the perfect ride for you. Book in seconds, ride with ease, and enjoy the convenience you deserve. Download the SKN Cabs app today from the Play Store or App Store and stay connected with us on WhatsApp, Facebook, or Instagram at SKN Cabs. SKN Cabs, transportation made easy.
So you were singing that first song, right? A beautiful song. What kind of reception you got from that song?
Oh wow! To this day, it's the best streaming song for me out there.
So your first original recording?
Yeah. To this day, I've brought out more music, but Run Come is the one that does the numbers.
Yeah. Why you think so though?
I don't know. I think maybe persons like that kind of soulful sweetness of the voice, because the other tracks that bring out a little more rough cut, just a little.
Yeah.
So maybe they like that. I don't give them back that. Just no.
Yeah. So you have plans on continuing in that vein then?
Yeah. Well, I'm like really into the reggae. but I really like soul. So it's like a infusion of both.
Yeah. So from 2020, you would have released Run Come.
Yeah.
Fill the gaps. After Run Come, what came next?
Okay, after Run Come, I think that would have been 2021. I would have released a song called You Should Leave. And then in 2023, I would have released my first project, Momentum.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, releasing Momentum, what was the thought process behind now releasing a project? Because that's an EP, right?
Right, it is. I definitely wanted to sit down and create a body of work. And my music at that time, was getting me through some stuff. Because, I just told you, like, I would have lost my grandmother in 2020. So it's just a lot of buildup of stuff over the years.
So it was your outlet?
Yeah, it was my outlet. So it was, the whole theme of Momentum is just to keep going through it all, like breaking the barriers of everything, mentally, physically, all of that is just like, I became a new mom in 2018. I lost my grandmother in 2020. COVID and everything happened. A lot of shifts in society, in relationships that we have. So it was just that place for me to put everything and for me to cope.
Now, what kind of reception you got from those songs?
Oh, wow. I definitely got a bigger fan base that really appreciated the positivity and the upliftment in the music. Because I guess a lot of times majority of the times we are exposed to a lot of that negative, kind of heavy music. And I just wanted, when I say negative, as in music that...
You mean the subject matter?
Yeah, promotes...
Like more promiscuous kind of...
Yeah, violence, that kind of thing, especially in a society where that is kind of like a sensitivity for us, knowing the current rates and whatever. So that's the kind of feedback. I'm just letting you know the feedback that I got from persons.
It was a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, that's what the fans said. They like it. And it was just me just expressing myself. I didn't even expect that.
Right.
It's just...
Now, how do you find it as a female singing music in St. Kitts Nevis?
It's interesting.
Exponent.
Okay. As I told you, I started out in cover bands. I was in Genesis first, and then I was in Kessie 5. So even then, being a singer in a band, the men would always be the ones that popped up. It's like, you always feel like you had to work a little extra harder to burst into an arena. Like, especially being in Kessie 5. Kessie 5, our lead singer was Ike at that time. Ike had this loud, big voice. A lot of times I used to just sit back and just watch him and just kind of take it in, for how he performs and stuff. I still admire him to this day. So I would say it's just an interesting field because not much people do it. So you don't have much to look at to kind of get your own swing of things.
But why do you think that is though? Like why music in St. Kitts Nevis is so male dominated?
Wow. What do we listen to in St. Kitts Nevis? That's the question.
We listen to dancehall, soca, reggae, pep.
Yeah, outside of
hip hop.
Yeah, outside of St. Kitts, those genres and all the majority of the music genres, except maybe even R&B sometimes. But women most of the time they go into R&B with the sweet, nice. But reggae, dancehall, soca, those kind of arenas, majority of them, even outside of St. Kitts, is male dominated. So I think it's just a general thing.
No, but in what I refer to is like there's much female solo artists in St. Kitts Nevis. I probably can count on my hand.
Right.
The amount there is. And then the relevant ones are even fewer. You know what I mean? So I always want to know, like, from a female's perspective, why are there more Ideli Napi,
I really can't answer that.
Because, all right, you can list a lot of legendary artists from St. Kitts and Nevis.
Correct.
You might not have as much international success, but then the local success is still limited as it relates to female. You know what I mean? So I always kind of wonder, why is that so?
I have no idea. I don't know. Maybe it's a
'Cause most-
respect thing. Maybe it's a...
Respect.
When I say a respect thing, as in respect of the art form coming from a woman. If you understand. Maybe, I'm just saying maybe. I'm not saying anything. I'm saying maybe. Maybe, because I myself can't answer to that because I am me. I put up myself out there. I don't know why somebody else wouldn't put themselves out there, if you understand. Maybe the lack of confidence, maybe I don't know. I write my own songs.
Oh, you write your own songs?
I write my own songs. I also write songs for persons. The reigning Calypso monarch.
Yeah.
Josie, I wrote and co-wrote his Calypso winning songs last year. So maybe it's the availability to those kind of avenues to get music and songwriting, because not all singers are songwriters. So maybe it's the extra steps. Maybe I have a thing. I have no idea.
I feel like there isn't any industry either.
For
It's just
women?
it's just.
So you think it should be separated?
Women.
Wait, so there is
no music industry in St. Kitts Movies.
Oh, okay.
I'm telling you, there's no
yeah.
music industry in St. Kitts
Okay.
Movies. Like, what can you really consider as the music industry in St. Kitts Movies? There is just the bands doing their thing, and then there are a few artists or solo artists who actually
break the mold.
And then there is even fewer other artists that's relevant beyond, say, a Culturama or a Carnival. So that can be a reason too, you know what I mean? So earlier, just a while ago, you were saying you wrote and co-wrote for a Calypsonian and so on,
the
right?
king.
The king, the reigning.
King Jersey.
The reigning Calypso
Yeah.
monarch, right? Now, why haven't you ventured out into, like, say, a soca or a calypso?
Okay, so it's just not my thing.
Yeah.
It's not my thing. And I knew that early on from performing in cover bands. Soca is not my thing. Calypso is not my thing.
Why?
I have appreciation for calypso. And maybe because I used to play it on the saxophone. Why?
Oh, you play so...
Yeah, I used to.
You're talented, man.
Yeah. I started, when I started playing sax, Hicks is the one who taught me from Grandmasters. And we used to play saxophone for Culturama, Carnival, stuff like that for Calypso. So that's how I got an appreciation from a young...
Grandmasters.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know Grandmasters have a calypso. Yeah.
Proud song.
Right.
So, So I think that's why I gain appreciation for Calypso, but
So
I don't like competitions.
So you've never tried dabbling into like those other genres outside of writing? Because you see, you write a whole winning...
That's true. On the first try, that's the first time I ever wrote for anybody. First time ever writing Calypso, and it won. Both of them.
Wow. So as it relates to your music now and the production of your music, who is your producer? Do you even have a producer?
I don't have a one person. For example, when I did my Momentum project, I would have had Bob T on there, I would have had GT Beats, I would have had Scratchy. I was just like, I can't think of government name. I would have had Nelto from Wilkie Boy. So it's just a bunch.
So how do you find it working with these different producers?
Oh, I love it. I love the different sounds that they bring. All of them have a different approach to music, but I think they get me. Like when I sing something and I'll be like, you know, GT, I'm looking for something with this kind of vibe. And he's just like, okay, I can send you something, and it pop off.
So in regards to management and that team side of your music now, what's your team looking like?
Oh, Bijan and others.
Yeah.
Pretty much, right? I said that to say, when I decided that, I want to put up my first track, I had no idea how putting a song online, streaming any of that worked. And Bijan sat with me and we worked it all out, and he did all those logistics. And Bijan and I are very good friends, we're close friends before we are manager and artist.
So you'd say it was very important to know have that team behind.
Yeah, for sure. So it started off with me and Bijan, and definitely outside of that I have Candace, which is whenever people hear me say, Candace, what's going on, Candace is definitely there with me. And whenever I'm doing like projects or like shows, I would have all the persons on my team, like Joella, Tariq, Tashima, Crystal, you know, there were even my family members, my aunts, my uncles, my mom, my dad, everybody is very hands-on in everything.
So you're well supported in terms of like your family also support the
They
music.
always show up.
What are your aspirations as an artist? Like where you see yourself going?
Oh, I was preparing myself for this question because I know it was coming. And
why? Like what?
Because it's not what you're gonna expect it to be. Okay. When I did my first track in 2020, I was like, Bijan, if 10 people like it, I'm good. And 10 and more people like it, so I'm good. Right now, I just ride in whatever wave, wherever it carry me, I just go in with it.
So you don't have goals as it relates to your music? Like you would want to make it on this stage, or you would want...
I would definitely like to sing outside of St. Kitts. I would like to do that. But generally, it's just all about the process. I like the creation process. I like the music and the art form. So it's just, I don't put that much pressure on myself and that kind of heavy expectation and pressure on my art form, because I don't want to then shift and bend for the expectations of other people.
But your expectation, you have to have something where you look at and say, all right, do you even have artists that inspire you then?
Yeah, I do.
Who are some of your inspirations?
Okay. And this is music, performance, everything. I think right now the top would be Romain Virgo. I love Lila Ike and Damien Junior Gang. So I think those are my top 3.
All right, so Romain Virgo is coming for music. So wouldn't you like to have per se a collaboration?
I would love that. I would love that.
Well, see, that's our aspiration.
I guess.
Yeah, you have to have things where you aspire to. As a musician, like, you want to make it on this stage, or, you know, you'd like
if
to
it comes, and when it comes, it comes.
So you're not actively pursuing those, or you just leave those stuff up to management?
Up to management. I just want to be in the creation process. I want to be in the singing, creating, writing, and allow management to do what they need to do.
Right. Now, last year, I see you would have hosted your own concert.
Yeah.
Speak to me about that experience.
Okay, so that was at the Meltaway. It was called Admit One. I really like performing in intimate spaces because I like to connect with the audience on a grown level, right? I like that unique experience. So, you know, I would have spoken to Chetty. I know Chetty from way back, and it's his spot. So he was doing concerts, tell me he was doing concerts and what he was planning to do and all of that. And he asked me, you know, if I was interested in doing something like that. And I told him, yeah, no problem. I didn't put a date on it. I just kind of threw it up in the air. And then the summer was coming around and I was like, you know, John, let's do something. Let's take this opportunity that Chetty is giving us and let's try to do something. So we got the band together, the Revealers band. I wanted to make it a little different. Had my backup singers. I also had a featured artist. Also had spotlights for my backup singers as well. And it was just a nice show. It was just a good time.
And there's a whole production for that.
Oh, yeah. That I don't think about. Bijan does everything.
So what was the goal behind that?
The goal behind that? Mainly I wanted to get content.
Oh, it was for content.
Yeah, mainly I wanted to get content and I just wanted to make sure at least once a year I invest in myself in that way. So I think it's very important that you...
So you think you would have accomplished the goal that you set out to do by putting on that concert?
Yeah. And I want to do something for myself.
And will that be something that's reoccurring anytime soon?
Yeah, we were already planning the one for this year, but unfortunately with the Music Fest planning...
That's not unfortunate.
When I said that, we're talking about the show. I'm not talking about the unfortunate, you know. I'm very fortunate to be at a music festival, okay? But you know what I'm trying to say. With the planning and the heavy lifting that involves, I won't be able to do it this year, but next year for sure.
Oh, okay.
Next year for sure.
Okay, so it's something that we can look forward to.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, you're a mother. How does motherhood affect your music?
Ooh, there we go. Again, it's a creative space for coping, for joy, and what I like and what I also take into consideration is when I'm singing my songs, I want my daughter to be able to sing them too. You know, I want the lyrics to be of such that I'm okay with her singing them because she's around everything. The audience might not know, but she's around. She's around. You know, I involve her in everything. She goes to my band rehearsal. She goes to my studio time. Everything, like she sees what I'm doing. So I really like that.
So you're cognitive of the impact your music will have on her.
Correct. So I think definitely motherhood has impacted part of my art form in that way.
Yeah. So there will not be a time when we hear like the gloves come off and you kind of step into
Maybe not. Maybe not. No.
Really?
Maybe not. No, that's just ain't my vibe.
Right. Now, this year you're on the music festival lineup. How did that happen for you?
Wow. Okay. So I would have gotten the call in January, February, around there, I think. I got a call from the representative in tourism because she would have seen me. She would have seen me perform at Miss Talented Teen in December for Carnival. And she messaged me and she was like, you know, I was really caught up with the performance and I wanted to know if you're interested in performing for this year's music festival. And I'm just like, oh, of course, you think that's enough? I was head over heels. You know, the music festival is a very good opportunity for me to get my music out there and to broaden my horizons to wherever I need to go and wherever I need to be. Whatever space I need to fill.
Yeah. So getting that call now, and you say it's an opportunity to broaden your horizon. Do you care about when you get to perform or what time you get to perform?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. And that is coming from me who's been accustomed to going on first a lot, especially earlier. What people don't understand is there's also an advantage to that. Because when you start your show and you're confident with your show, somebody else have to come and, you know, match the energy.
Yeah, right.
So that is one of the perks to starting first. A lot of people like to run away from it. I don't really like to see it as a negative. It's wherever I go. It's not a problem.
But some would say, including myself, that if it is an opportunity, like you say, to expand your audience or to get exposure, going on first kind of defeats that purpose.
In a way, most definitely my fans will be there. Most definitely there will be people that come early to the music fest, so you can depend on that. Is performing in the middle, prime time, the best thing? Of course. But if you don't get the opportunity, you just have to work with what you have.
So you're grateful of the opportunity.
Yeah, I'm very grateful. It don't matter.
Right. Now, this is a question I'm asking people who are on the lineup. Like, getting this opportunity, what do you hope to do with this opportunity? Because now, a lot of people have came before you, gotten this opportunity to be on the festival, but not much fruits come from that. It's just back to the normal. Some people have even regressed, in my opinion, from that opportunity. So what are your plans post music festival?
Well, I hope to do a lot more networking, you know, because the music festival is a platform for that, for persons to come and see, persons to come and hear, persons to come and discover. So I'm hoping to make some sort of connection during that time to expose my music and broaden my horizons in that way.
Wow. Well, you see, that's good. You know what I mean? Because, again, like, a lot of people get the opportunity and may have my eyes on them like, what's next, you know? And then you would see they go back to the same old, same old, and nothing really comes of that. You know what I mean? So to see her trying to network them, that's a good thing. You know, and speaking of networking, last year I saw you at the Creative Poets Convention. You did a little private performance for Russian and the rest of what would you call them? Presenters at the convention. What was that experience like?
Ooh, it was interesting. I think it was a kind of pinch me moment because I was just chilling. And management would have notified me that, your name was brought up, this is what it is. And I just say, yeah, well, let me go and do my thing and see what happens. I mean, I got some really good feedback, some good notes that I'm implementing even now, performance-wise. I think it was a really good experience.
Yeah, I was there, and I remember vividly Russian would have noticed that you were kind of on a low note, and you would have advised to kind of come up with.
Right.
So is that something you're actually trying?
Yeah, I have been. And it's not just Russian, my entire team, trust me, has been trying to get me out of that for a while. And it was just more of a comfort for me. It was more of a comfort for me, but definitely growth mindset have to shift certain things for betterment. So that's something I'm definitely taking into consideration. And persons will hear going on.
So what's next for Idelli?
What's next? Definitely a project outside of music festival. Make sure you come on the 27th on the Friday night. Come early outside of the music festival.
Night with giants,
with the world boss. With the world boss. I know. That in itself can be a little intimidating, but as I tell you, I don't put a lot of pressure on myself. So I just show up, I do my thing,
Yeah, in your element.
In my element, all I can do is present myself. I don't try to be anybody else. I don't try to do nothing else. I try to perfect what I already have. So after music festival, definitely I'm working on a project currently. And when it's done, don't want to put no pressure on myself.
Do you get negative feedback?
Rarely.
When you do, how do you deal with it?
Okay. Just say, okay. Everybody has their own opinion on things. I can't change that. That's fine. Who for me?
Yeah. So you're just kind of in your zone.
Always. Don't shift.
Social media is a powerful tool for music.
Yes.
How do you implement social media to promote your music and so on?
I am horrible at social media. I'm not sure if you probably wouldn't see much posts from me, and it's just, I don't know, it's just, my life and the balancing and the back and forth. I use my Instagram. Management deals with any other account, Facebook and anything else. So by my Instagram, I, time to time, post, singing content, creative content. I have this thing that called Nappy POVs, where all like this, I would probably record this and post it all in a big lump sum. I've recognized persons like seeing that, people like seeing the behind the scenes. So I think I have a niche for that. Because usually when people post themselves, they just shine the bright lights and stuff on the day. But I show the practices, the losing me accessories, I post everything. So I think persons really like that kind of content. So outside of just posting the music, getting to know the artist, getting to know how the music, how the creativity is and how it flows, I think I could do a better job, but I try.
Yeah. So about music videos, because again, you're not really the most visible artist.
No.
So
I hope to change that. I hope to change that. We're working on it.
You're working
on it, yeah.
Yeah, because
I'll be so shy.
Manager,
yeah, I know, right? Trust me.
And him have everything. Come on, Bijan.
He's not to blame. No, don't.
Come on, Bijan.
Don't blame him.
I blame him.
Don't blame him. Bijan, let's be like, Delrose, let me go take some pictures. Delrose, let me go take a video. Delrose, and I just be like.
So, you overpower him?
Meow.
Why though?
Meow.
Why?
Meow. I don't know. It's just a vibe.
So you have that kind of mystique to you then?
Sometimes I do. Sometimes I kind of pop in and then I go back. I had to get back the social battery running.
We're in a digital age going
Right. But I still think and I really appreciate having some things from me that I don't have to share with everybody. You hear from music, I share my music, I share my talent in that way. But other things I feel for me. A lot of artists producers and stuff use their social media to post what they're eating in the day, what they're drinking in the day. And it's just like...
No, but it's a way of connecting, you know.
I understand.
It's a way of people getting to know you.
I understand, and I do that here and there, but it's just... maybe it's a mistake. Maybe it's a mistake.
Yeah.
The comfortability.
Oh,
yeah.
Man, but as an artist, you have to...
I'll try. I'll do better. Next time I come on here, the people will see me more. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Promise.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Your pinky promise?
No.
Come on, man. We have to do better than that, man. We have to do better than that. Because, alright, we're in the age of social media, you know. This is the time we're in a way. Yeah. People depend on them phone all day, every day, you know. If you just post, I'm not say every day, but at least the time where you take scrolling on the phone, you just post something.
And that's the thing. I don't spend a lot of time scrolling. I spend a lot of time more in the reality.
Oh, really?
And I think that is it. I don't spend a lot of time on my phone. I have strict boundaries with my phone. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, I'm going to ask you this now, again. What's your goal as an artist?
Oh, gosh. To create.
To create.
So
to it's
get
not
people.
To reach.
Get people.
So it's not to reach people.
To reach people. As far as my music can take me. Mm-hmm. Wherever it takes me, I will go.
Well, my saying is the talent and the music is just 10% of the way, you know. It's a whole 90% of other things.
I just show up, got me pretty smile and sing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think about them things.
So
honestly.
Anything else you want to talk to the people about them?
Do I? Look out for my project when it's finished. Definitely.
You have a name for it?
Should I say?
Yeah.
Perspectives Exclusives. My project is called Written in Roses.
Written in Roses.
Written in Roses. Yeah.
Yeah. Sing piece of one of the songs on the project.
Let me see. I need a beat. Okay. Locks on me head, but me no rasta. Pretty face and lyrical gangster. One God me serve, that is me mantra. All of me pray, them say he answer. Paid it in full without a sponsor. Me say the tune so hot, go call a doctor. Natural can catch me with relaxer. Cause I am one of one in every chapter. Look for the IDeli Napi.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds like a little dancer.
Right, a little something. Yeah.
Alright. We want to see more of them projects with evil gangway records, you know?
Yeah, man. Things are in the works.
Need to do more collaborations.
Yeah, we are in the works currently.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So lots of excitement to come.
Lots of excitement to
feel come. Like you're a bit... Sorry, I feel like you're a bit too relaxed though. Like
relax?
Yeah.
Want to
like
pace up and... Don't like that. Anxiety.
Yeah, like you're very...
Chill.
You're on Bijan too much, man.
Really? Oh, he's around me.
Well, anyways,
cool.
I've reached the end of another amazing episode of the Perspectives podcast. Hey, what a word? Style Jerk Studios.
Style Jerk Studios.
Amazing environment, you know what I mean?
Yes.
IDeli Napi, very
well,
talented.
It is IDeli Napi. Well.
Very talented, you know what I mean? Where the people can find you on the socials?
Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, IDeli Napi. IDeli Napi.
Yeah, people. Remember, for all your transportation needs in St. Kitts Nevis, SKN Cabs. See you guys on the 5th of July for Frofest. You see something like you've never seen before. Or embrace our African heritage and nice hair and food and different vendors. Hey, what if I excitement to come, people? Remember, like, share, subscribe. The Perspectives podcast. We're back consistent.
Like up the thing.
Because we have been inconsistent a lot this year. But we're getting there. So until next time. Whoa.
Hoy, and I said nobody now believe it. Well, if they me say I beat it. Me and the pastor, me not go preach it to how we hold it down. Yeah, man, it's Dejure, you know what I mean? Giving you a different perspective on Perspectives Media. Easy.
Perspectives Media.